Okay, I'm going to talk about our diesel heater. This is the one that we use for ice fishing. We have another one that needs to be installed, assembled. We were planning to use it in the RV, but we have not yet installed it because we have another idea. We'll talk about that later. This is the Maxpeedingrods. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a model M as in Mike, X as in X-ray, R as in radio, hyphen 2 as in number 2, and Y as in Yankee. All-in-one heater. That's the model number of this. The reason why I got this one is because it has automatic altitude adjustment. So generally speaking, if you're under 2,000 meters, it's not a problem. But if you go at that height, which in the Rockies we do, it will switch up and make the adjustment automatically. That's the main reason. And I wanted an all-in-one unit for one purpose, which was the ice fishing, and the non-all-in-one unit, which is going to be installed in the trailer. However, we're not winter camping in a trailer, so I was thinking of still using this one, have it underneath the trailer, outside, but underneath, and have a vent set up so it blows in hot air from under the floor into one of our compartments. We haven't done that yet, but we're thinking of that. Okay. One of the first problems when I got this, and we used it for 1 year. In fact, on some of the videos I've already published, you'll see a picture of this unit sitting on the ice and the hose there going inside the tent. The one that comes with it works perfect. We do have a longer one, but we found it wasn't necessary. Not for ice fishing anyways. And we had no problems. However, I couldn't make no adjustments because I couldn't see the menu for some reason. And the display was replaced. And so now I can see the menu. And of course, this menu, the display is totally different from all the other brands, which can be a nuisance if you're not familiar with it at all. So you have to kind of get to know it. So I just want to go through some of the settings. Some of the settings I can only do in shut-off mode. I would have to run it in order to make other changes. But we'll start. Okay, when you first hook up your battery, I'm using a lithium phosphate battery, 100 amp and 12 volt mode. This unit does work on 12 or 24, and I believe will operate anywhere between 9 and 16 volts, which is good, especially as your battery gets weak. And it's the same range but higher voltage for 24. So this is what you see when you first power up. And you could just basically hit this button and it will start up. We'll go through the routine of pumping and things of that sort. But before we do that, let's go to settings. The settings buttons is right here. You got to hold it for a few seconds. There. That came up. That U is actually a V. So it stands for voltage. If I want to change the voltage, I hit this OK button, which is right here in the center. Maybe I should use a pencil so it'll be more visible. Okay, would that work? Maybe not, I don't know. Okay, let's try it. No. Okay, it's basically in the center. So we hit that. We have 12 volts, which is what's set. And if you hit one of these arrows, there's an up and down arrow right there. There's 24. If 24 volts is what you want, then you hit the OK button. But we don't. We go to the other button, go back, hit the OK, and that's the settings. There we go. So, I guess I had to hit the down volume. This one, PO. There's no information in the manual for it. But when I go in, it has 2,000 and 5,000. I'm assuming it's meters, and it has to do with the elevation, or not the elevation, but the altitude, I guess. And this unit is automatic, so I guess you don't need to touch it. If for some reason, I guess you had 5,000 meters, then maybe it might be required. I don't know. There's no information about it. I'm usually in the 2,000 meter range, so I'm good. Okay, the next option. Okay, one thing about this thing, it doesn't cycle through. You gotta, when you go from one end to down, you gotta go to the other end of the up button. Okay, fan. If I want to turn on the fan without any heat, two, three, let's hit 3 there. It should cut in. There we go, it's starting to start up. So, you can have the fan running without having heat. Okay, let's go back up there again. And shuts down. Okay, I guess it has some sort of cool down mode. Let's see, can we? Yeah. So there's the fan. RU as Russian. You would think they would have like LN or something like that for language, but they don't. So you hit the RU, English. And then you have the option of Russian, English, and Chinese. And I want English, so I'll hit that. Huh? Didn't take. Let's try that again. There you go. That's it.
Start the work.
Firing up. I got no fuel in there, so turn it off. There you go. I guess once you get the fan going, it seems to run. Even at fan 1 speed. You have to kind of shut off the unit. That's the way it behaved anyways. Okay. Okay, manual pump operation. I guess when you're first starting up and the lines are empty, the up and down arrows, which are right here, you would hold this.
Manual injection oil finished.
Oh, that was manual. Okay, let's try that again. There we go.
Manual injection oil mode.
Okay. I'll just shut this off for a minute.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so you hold those 2 keys for 2 seconds, and then you'll see that menu. And after pumping fuel successfully, the device will automatically switch into operating mode. And I guess to exit out of there, you just hit a long press those arrows for 2 seconds to exit. Okay, startup operation. Basically, you put the power on switch, which is this one right here.
Start the work.
Okay, wondering why that is showing from the previous menu. Oh, I guess it's calibration.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let me just try this here, one more thing. Okay. Because the manual pump operation wasn't complete on my previous demo, I had to hit those two up and down arrows and hold it for 2 seconds to exit. Otherwise, when you power up, you're going to see that manual pump operation menu, the startup operation. See what it looks like.
Start the work.
13.3 volts. It's starting to fire up. I have no fuel, so I'm going to just turn it off for now. There you go.
Bye-bye.
So after 3 seconds, after the heater starts up, the glow plug will start to operate. And the fuel pump will start operating at about 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes, you gotta wait. And then after successful ignition, the heater will start to operate normally after about 5 minutes. So 3 seconds, 1.5 minutes, and then 5 minutes. And during that startup operation, you can't make no alterations or switching. Okay, for shutdown, it always warns, don't disconnect the battery. Hit the off button.
Bye-bye.
You hear in English, bye-bye, okay. So when we shut down, the fuel pump will stop immediately, but the fan will continue to run between 3 to 5 minutes. I guess a certain temperature has to drop down before it will shut down completely. And then it will end in this display, U12V, which is what we have, which means that the heater has shut down completely. Yeah, again, they stress, do not cut off the power to the heater during the cooling process. So, you're taking a risk when you are using a battery that's just about dead and you plan to use it for a while. You may end up with something overheated. There are overheating sensors in there, which does work, but it's still expecting the fan. Okay, power mode operation. The unit has to be running, and once the unit is running, then you can hit the settings button, which is this, and you can select your power mode, which is 5 levels, P1 to P5. P1 is the minimum power level, lowest fuel consumption, and P5 is the maximum power level for the highest fuel consumption. So whatever level you want to operate, use either the up or down keys. Okay. Again, you have to be in power mode. In other words, the unit has to be running. And you can set the temperature. You press the settings, and you will enter the temperature mode. It will give you the Celsius symbol, and you press an up and down keys to adjust the temperature, and the range is between 5 degrees Celsius, excuse me, and 30 degrees Celsius. Okay. You can set a timer on this unit, and I think I need to be running for it to really work properly, but basically you hold the power key and the down arrow for a few seconds. and this menu comes up, but unfortunately I can't do anything. And you have to repeat the same thing to get out of this mode. There you go. Apparently you can set your timer, how long you want it to run, and depending on how you exit will determine if your timer settings is erased or saved. So for those who use timers, it's good to know that. That's all I can do with the menu in shutdown mode. I don't have no diesel with me right now. I just took this out of storage, getting ready for winter ice fishing, and I'll pick up some diesel and fire it out outside and play some more with it. And if anything of interest that I may have missed, I will record and add to this video. And we already did the settings menu, which is the most important one. You just hold this and you can set this then your voltage, which you want 12 volt if you're using 12 volts, and you don't want Russian or Chinese, switch to English. And as for the fan, you don't need to go in there because it will keep running until you shut off whatever settings you put from 1 to 5. But it's good to know you could run just a fan without the heat or diesel. And so, okay. This particular unit has Bluetooth control. I've used it during the winter. Judging by the picture that they have here, they must have updated the app because it was pretty useless, the one I've used. So I will have to download it and see. I'm just going to take this off here for a minute. This is the unit right there. It works. I have no issues with it. I just hook it on the unit itself so it doesn't get lost. Just another item to lose in the snow. So I just hook it to the power cables at the back and it's there. When you first fire up and first time wanting to use that remote, you have to hold down the power key, which is right there, and the down arrow for about 2 seconds. And then you'll see, remember we saw that earlier? OC1. Okay. Now you're ready to pair. And all you have to do is hit any button on the remote control to complete the pairing. And you will hear a voice confirmation. So, I guess I have to hold this down again to shut her off. There you go. Okay. So that's for your remote control pairing. The Bluetooth pairing, well, it won't work unless you at least turn on cellular once in order to then see the option to have Bluetooth turned on. So I don't like that. So anyways, it's up to you if you want to use it or don't, but I certainly will not, and it certainly does violate all sorts of privacy rules, I think, when it demands cellular. And I turn everything off, and I usually delete the app. That's why I had to re-download it to see if there was an update, and I did check, there was no update. So, no changes. Okay. I'll do another video later when I'm firing this up to see how it works and play around with the rest of the settings. But this would be a good intro for someone who just got this unit and want to be familiar with the unit. You can get that information from reading the instructions, but it's so much easier when you can watch it. I think we get lazier as we get older, huh? Okay, let's work. At this time, I had no problems with it. Oh, another thing I should mention, is the way I mount it. I use ice cookie sheet and some stainless steel spacers. A big wide cookie sheet, this way it won't tip. If you have it in a toboggan, and you can put it on a snowbank and it digs in quite well. So you don't have to worry about it tipping over. And you can buy these cookie sheets very cheap there for $5 or so. And that works well. And the other thing I've done, I got this Velcro. Basically. That's it. Keeps it nice and portable. Carrying it around. There you go. That's the setup. All I can say right now is that it worked perfect. Now, I use lithium batteries, so I don't have to worry about voltage issues so much. But if you're using a lead acid or AGM, the voltage does drop gradually, and it can stop working at a bad time. So I would always recommend, be sure you have a fully charged battery. Keep an eye on it. When you see the voltage start to drop there to 10 volts, probably best to shut off and switch batteries or put a charger on. Okay, any questions? Feel free to send comments. I will try to respond as soon as possible. I may be in the middle of other things, but I do read them eventually. And if you have any suggestions, I'm open to it. If you any pros and cons, feel free to ask or make comment. And either thumbs up or thumbs down. If you do put a thumbs down, I'd certainly like to know why. I'm new at this YouTube stuff. I'll be doing more live stuff once the season starts. From now on, we'll be doing more video. So this way, it'll be less boring. So basically, these videos is just strictly information. It's not so much for entertainment there, but strictly for information. Until then, have a nice day.